Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of The Finance Bro. We have real conversations with real people about money. Today, I have little sis on the show, Briana, to kind of discuss what she's experienced so far during her personal finance journey. She's been knocking out debt. She's been able to make some tough decisions that many people struggle to make, and she's seen the benefits of those along the way, which has only really pushed her to keep making tougher decisions to make her journey shorter, right? So I'm excited to have this conversation with her today. We're going to do it. It's really going to be like a coaching session, but you all get to kind of see what we speak about, and you see the things she's working on, and we'll get to talk about her reflections up to this point, and you get to see some of the tough decisions that she's made so far that most people struggle with, and the benefits of being able to make those decisions and how to progress you or propel you forward with your goals. So before we get too far into it, Brianna, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Yeah. What's going on, y'all? My name is Briana Reckling, and I'm a recent college graduate from the University of South Carolina, where I majored in marketing with my minor in sports and entertainment. I'm from New Jersey, but went to school at USC, and I was also a collegiate track and field athlete, and I participated in numerous organizations. I was president of the Black Business Student Association. I was a part of the ODK National Honor Society, and also the illustrious Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, where, I've learned a lot of things. And met a lot of new people. And, I graduated this past May of 2022. And now I reside in the Boston area where I do medical device sales for a company called Smith and Nephew. So I'm happy to be here, happy to talk about some financial coaching. Eric's a great guy. He's been helping me out. And I'm only 22. I'm fresh out of college. And I figured, why not do this podcast with him? Because there's somebody out there that looks like me and just needs a little bit of guidance. So let's get into it.
Hey, I love it. I love it. I get so excited when I'm talking to her because not only does she like come and we work and get things, but it's just so exciting to see her go and implement the things that we speak about aggressively. And I think that's one of the biggest things that hold a lot of people back, is they'll learn and they'll get this information and they sit on it. I'm gonna tell you right now, ever since day one that we've spoke, she's
Mm-hmm.
been we've had goals, it might have been 3 months, and she calls me in a month and a half, hey, it's done. Like I love it. So going into that, let's just first talk about the progress that you've made so far, like where you started at, some of the tough decisions you started making up front, and then we'll go into everything else.
Yeah, so like I said, I just graduated college. So when you graduate, you kind of step right into that adult life. I moved from South Carolina to Boston, and Boston is it's a nice town, but it's expensive living. I went from not really paying for many bills to paying all of my bills. So that's your rent, your car, your food, groceries, taxes, everything, HBO, Netflix, all of the fun stuff, phone. So it was a little bit tough, mentally, going from not paying as many bills to paying rent, car, everything like that. My rent is my biggest expense. Unfortunately, it's an expensive cost of living up in Boston. So one of my paychecks is kind of like directed strictly towards that. But one of my favorite things that I had to give up, was my car. I had a 2022, RAV4, and I called her Venom because she was all black. Man, she looked so good. I miss her already. But she was fresh off the lot, but she was like $647 a month. With insurance, like 200, around there. So that's about 900 to $1,000 on a car. So fresh and so clean. I look good with the drop top, all that, the black tinted windows, everything. But with my rent being so high and also my car being so high, I had to make the decision. I met with Eric. He was like, listen, you got to get rid of one of these. And I said, okay, like, my rent, I can't really move. I'm in a 14-month lease. Like, I'm there for about a year and a half. Like, that's just my cost of living. Like, I just got to eat that one. My car, I didn't want to give that one up because she was sexy. Like, that's your new car. You feeling good about yourself. You just graduated. You got you a new job, a nice salary, moved to a new city. But I had to, Eric was like, if you want to get to where you want to be, debt free, and actually have all the money saved up for your emergency savings, your long-term savings and everything like that, you gotta get rid of this soon. So I told him, I was like, you know what, like, I'll look into it. I have some family that sell cars and stuff like that. So I told him, I was like, my goal is to get rid of my car by December. Our
Yep.
first meeting was September. I started getting into it. I said, all right, let me hit up my family members, see what I got. By our next session, I had my new car.
Yep.
I was like very proud of myself because I was like, okay, I didn't think I was going to get rid of it that fast, but I've saved like $300 on my car now. I have a 2019 Acura ILX. Nice. I call her Coco. She all white. She's still, good performance, it's not the same, but it's saving me $300. And that
Hmm.
$300 could be towards anything else of my bills. It could be towards my savings. It could just sit in my account. That's some money in my pocket. And it sucks being young and having to make a decision like that, because you're fresh out. You want to kind of not flex, but you want to feel good about yourself. You just finished 4 years of college. You worked hard. You're getting paid good money. But it's a decision like, all right, like, do I really need this car right now? And it's like, no, I'll be able to get whatever dream car I want like 5 years down the line where it's paid off. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
I took the like little hard route, and I got a car that was a little bit cheaper, but still good performance. And it saved me money. So that was like the first main thing that I had to do. And, ever since starting this financial coaching, once a month, it kind of just made me be a little bit more serious about where I spend my money. I like going to
Hmm.
Marshalls. I like shopping there. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna just buy some skincare, and that stuff adds up. Like after a while, that
Yep.
can turn out to be $100 after a month. So, after doing budgeting, and like I have a whole recap of the last 3 months that I'm gonna go over with Eric. It really just made me a lot more cognizant of how I'm spending my money, where I'm spending
Hmm.
my money, and how often I'm spending my money. And when you
Yes.
really sit there and look at it, it's like, all right, if you're trying to get to debt free in the next 2 3 years, you got to cut this out for right now.
Hmm.
And I think also being so young, at the age of 22, you want to go out to the parties, you want to see the new city, you want to see new people, you want to drink, you want to have fun. But that could wait. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
it's gonna be here forever. And
It
you gotta
will.
stay down till you come up. And like Eric has really been like a big brother to me and really been keeping me in line with that stuff. So I'm just here to testimony to that. If you're 22, 21, 20, 23, it don't even matter. You could do it because I'm doing it right now.
Hey, and it's never too late. But
Nope.
the leg up that I always tell you you have over everyone else is that you made the decision to start early. The decisions that you're making now, most people wait till they're 40 to
Mm-hmm.
figure out that it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, yeah, you might not be able to go and do everything you want right now
Right.
with 22, 23, 24, but
Mhm,
because you're doing these things and you're lowering your debt. So now
mhm.
your credit's going to be better. Your debt to income ratios are lower.
Right.
Now by 25, 26, you have a home where most
Mhm.
people aren't going to be able to do that. And it's like,
Right.
wow, when you sitting in a house that you own because
Mhm.
of the decisions you made at 22, you ain't gonna think that it sucks so
Oh,
much, right?
exactly. It's
And
gonna be
that's
worth it.
really, yeah, it's gonna be very worth it. And
Mhm.
those habits, like the habits that you're building now, even like before we got on, the show, when you were talking about how you were able to start looking at like, oh, I'm slacking off in this area.
Mhm.
Let me tighten this up. Right. And
Mhm.
that's important too, because there is no I'm not a fan of the zero defect mentality. Right.
Mhm.
And when you're doing this, slip ups are going to occur. But
Right.
when you're so involved that it's easy for you to notice it and recognize it, that
Mhm.
means that you can address it faster.
Exactly.
A lot of times people wait till the discipline slipping gets them into a
Mhm.
bad and it's like, oh man, how did I get here? But
Right.
when you're aware and you're doing these, oh,
Mhm.
actually I budgeted this and I'm already approaching this, so I need to calm down. You know,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
what are my plans? And you're able to think
Mhm.
towards your goals and your plans and not towards your desires, which
Exactly.
helps a lot.
Exactly. And like I said, I was a collegiate track and field athlete. I've been doing sports since the age of 7. Sports is just the whole thing my family is into. And that's discipline right there. You can't
Hmm.
sit there and eat a brownie or a hamburger right before you run an 800 race. You gotta be locked in 24/7, especially with collegiate track and field or collegiate athletics. It's
Hmm.
discipline. You can't go out to parties when you have a meet the next day. I think that kind of mindset helped me as well, when it comes to just life's challenges. Just like I said, staying down till you come up, and it's gonna be worth it. Work hard, shine later. Work hard, play hard, kind of thing. And
Hmm.
that's definitely helped me with my mentality, and building that strength and that confidence in myself to be like, okay, like it sucks right now, but it'll be worth it later. Those hard practices, waking up at 5 and 6 in the morning and having to just go to class right after. You're tired. You don't want to do it. You got to push yourself through those tough times. And there's been instances where I just didn't want to do it. Like, we're human. It's
Yep.
we can lose motivation. We're not going to be
Hmm.
motivated every single day, but it's that
Nope.
discipline that's going to keep us going.
Yep.
So like I said, like I created this 3-month recap with Eric. That kind of, I just like divided up in between October, November, December, and just going back over, what I spent more of, what I spent less of, in certain categories, where I could have went, what I could have done better, what I could have, just looked a little bit more into. So I'm ready to get into that if you cool with that,
Let's
Eric.
do it. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
All right. So October of 2022, that's only 1 month after our very initial meeting. And I kind of broke it down and, what went well, what could have went better, and just new additions or fees that I have for a month, and anything unexpected or I noticed. So, what went well in October, I spent less in, fuel, Lyft, parking, groceries, hair care, beauty supply, recreational, hobbies and movies, and some Zelle payments. And that saved me about $219. Because fast food is a big thing for me. I love Chick-fil-A. It's very convenient, especially after coming off of work. It's been a long day. You really don't want to make food, but I saved a lot of money in fast food because I spent a lot more time at home. Like I was home basically the whole month, so and I was working from home, so I didn't have to worry about those fuel costs and fast food. I was just cooking everything at home. Now, we could have went better, but because I was at home so much, what went up was my electric. So that's
Yeah.
expected. My cell phone a little bit. I got into a couple of more books, so that's acceptable. And then liquor and
Yeah.
shopping. But the only reason liquor and shopping went up is because it was homecoming. So that's acceptable.
Yeah. I get it. I get that.
You get it. It's homecoming. It's my first homecoming as an alum. So, shopping, and it was also my little cousin's birthday. So, shopping and liquor, took the biggest toll out of my like check. So I spent like $258 like over, what I wanted to spend. So I put a note, double down on shopping. Like I didn't need to be shopping so much, but I wanted to get some new outfits. I wanted to buy some new things. It's cool,
Want
it's
to look
whatever.
fly at homecoming.
The hair was curly, I had some nice, press on stuff like that. So that was cool. But new additions or fees for the month. So therapy. So I've been having therapy sessions, and mental health is very important. So if y'all have a
Yes.
therapist, please just go see a therapist, because you can't talk to your friends all the time about your problems. God is there as well, but you need to see a therapist. So my sessions are about $80 a month.
Okay.
$80 a session. So that was my new addition. That a new bill that I had to take on, and also for my visit for when I had my broken elbow, for Prisma Health, and that was $294. So those were the new additions and fees that I seen that I had for the month, and I was like, okay, like I wanted to break down and see when I should pay it, how much money I should put to the side, for these bills. Like for me, like it's very intimidating trying to pay a $400 bill just at once. Me, it's a little bit easier. Okay, I'll put like 80 to the side right now, and then the next 2 weeks I'll put another 80 to the side. Like that just mentally works for me. It doesn't make it seem like I'm just spending $400 right out of my bank account.
Yeah.
It works differently for everybody. And then anything unexpected and noticed. So like I said, I was home for the whole month until the end of October. So my electric bill for November increased, and then, liquor and shopping was more expensive because of homecoming. But, obviously that was a point that slowed down in November. So October wasn't bad. That was my first month after having that financial coaching meeting. I was first getting into it, writing down my proposed budget and where I was spending my money and stuff. But I was not careless, but just not as strict on myself with where I was spending my money. So that was October. October, I rated like a 7 out of 10. It wasn't too bad.
But one of the key things to note here is that I don't know if you remember me telling you that it takes about 90 days for someone to even get comfortable in that. So because of that, you still made progress, right? But it's not going to be perfect. You're figuring out how these new systems, like you're basically flipping the way you handled your finances on his head, right? You can't expect to get that in just 1 month. You're learning how does this budget work for me? Does it feel better for me to make these payments over time as opposed to one, because you're still making it because you still know it needs to happen because you're aware of what's going on with your finances, right? The problem comes when you're not aware, and it's like, oh wow, I'll put 80 towards it, and then next thing you know, 6 months went by and you didn't make any more payments towards it. But
exactly.
But you continue.
Yeah.
I like this. Continue.
So that was October. Going into November, went well. I spent less in the following proposed budget. So liquor, books, fuel, Lyft, fees for USC, my dog. I have a little dog now named Maybach. He's a Doberman. Personal care, recreational, and hobbies and movies, travel, and miscellaneous. So with that, I saved about $154. But what could have went better, I spent more in groceries, electric, hair care, beauty supply, fast food, shopping, and Zelle payments. So that affected my cash flow balance for about $180, which isn't too bad. That was less than October. So hey, I saved about $100. So that's some progress.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I have a list of things, that was kind of unexpected or noticed. So my first paycheck of the month of November, it was cut short by $200. That wasn't on my end, that was with the people that pay us through my company. And that was error on their end, and it was made up in one of my first December checks. Now I messed up my cash flow balance for the month, but I made it work. I moved some things around, but it was a huge wake up call.
Mm-hmm.
Once I seen that cut in my check, I was like, all right, like I that's $200 that I usually work with that I don't have. And
Mm-hmm.
$200 really, it could be nothing, but it's something when you don't have it. And
Absolutely.
you know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Like that really made me sit back and say, hey, like I really had to double down on some stuff. I couldn't buy certain things that I would have bought, that was within my budget because I was, $200 short. Like I like to follow my budget, follow how much I'm gonna spend on fast food, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I wasn't home for the entirety of the month for November. I was traveling for work, seeing family. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually saved some money on my flight back home to Boston, due to work and holiday travel. I split groceries with my partner. So usually when we're together, we'll buy groceries together. That saves us money.
Mm-hmm.
I started buying my groceries for the week and not for the like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Because I overbuy when I'm in Walmart or Food
Mm.
Line or Whole Foods. I overbuy. I go shopping, and don't go shopping when you're hungry because you're gonna buy a lot more stuff than you need to. So yeah, I really just started planning out, okay, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I copy the same thing. I create like just typical meals, spaghetti, chicken, rice, like broccoli,
Mm-hmm.
like healthy, hearty meals. But meals that are consistent, don't take too long.
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast, I keep it short with a smoothie and a bagel and eggs or bacon. Lunch, a nice sandwich and some chips, like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got other goals to achieve. So I really
Mm-hmm.
just try to keep it nice and easy, especially that, I'm on the go for work sometimes. I have to go into the office or I'm traveling to different cities. So I just like to keep it short and sweet. Because when you start doing too much in the grocery store, you start spending a little bit too much money,
Mm-hmm.
and then you start eating unhealthy. So that's another big thing. Let's see. I also, treated my boyfriend for like a boyfriend day, and the cut in the check kind of threw me off because it wasn't planned into my budget with the $200 less. The boyfriend day was planned perfectly into my budget. I did spend a little bit too much on fast food prior to that day, so that's what put me over the budget for fast food, but it all ended up working out fine. I wanted my proposed cash flow balance to be higher, significantly higher than $9.41. Taking into the consideration that I did have a new addition to my bills, which is also therapy and my dog.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I had some realizations for little things like grocery buying. So planning out my meals helped me a lot. Sticking
Mm.
to the consistency with breakfast, lunch, dinners, etc. Going into the office, how much I'm spending with gas. And yeah, like I said, I have a new dog now, Maybach. So that gives me more of a reason to watch my spending and make sure I'm following my budget religiously. Um, so yeah, so that was basically November. And as so far, I wrote this on the 16th of December, and I said, traveling is going to slow down for me, after January, to get myself right for the new year. 2023 is a breakthrough year, financially, mentally, physically, emotionally. So I
Mm-hmm.
got to get my stuff together in Boston, make sure I'm on track with work and everything. So I'm not going to be traveling as much. And traveling does slow down for work. It's cold, people are just getting back into the office from the holidays. It'll pick back up. I mean, they pay for that anyway, but it'll pick back up a little bit later. So I have some time to myself at home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also looking into a side job to start for the new year. Just an evening job, something on the primarily weekends, just to build towards having more cash flow, more money, there's nothing wrong with having more
Yeah.
money, you know what I'm saying? So building towards, either those student loans or my car or my short and long-term savings is something I'm looking into. Um, and yeah, like we said, it takes those 90 days to build that habit. So like I said, I put taking some time getting used to budgeting. And I think that cutting my check woke me up a little too much to how much I spend and how I need to discipline myself a bit more, especially with the shopping and fast food and going out. I noted here that my current car will be paid off in about 5 years, which is not even bad at all. That's kind of soon. And
Mm-hmm.
then I own it. So I could do anything I want to it. I could sell it, keep it, whatever it is. But I
Keep it.
said this is something that could change over the years. If I see a cheaper car, a better rate car. But other than that, my car will be paid off in 5 years. I noted also that I travel more into the office. So about Tuesdays through Thursdays, I travel into the office, and my gas is about $32 to fill up. My Acura now is a little bit more of a gas guzzler. The car that I had before was hybrid, so I saved a lot more money with gas. But work is about a 40-minute drive, so it's not as convenient as before. But I make it work. It's nothing too crazy. Um, and yeah, I just noted here, like, just figuring out how to pay for the rest of my other bills. So like therapy, and my health bill that I had when I went to the hospital, and just being on paid time off, getting some time to look into the new year, and the home buying process, and scheduling also my credit-free consultation with Eric, to get my credit right for the new year. Just finishing up. I think it was a great, past 3 months. Like December, I kind of just took a step back and realized what I was doing with my spending, and where it could have went better, and what I'd done well. And I'm still young and figuring out the process, but that's been my last 3 months, and I can't complain. I'm still learning, but it's been great. I'm working a little bit hard on it, and trying to stay focused. It is a little bit easy to get unfocused, especially if you're not around the right people, and the people that you're around aren't motivating you to stay on track with the things that you're trying to stay on track of. So I'm really trying to lock in for the new year, but that was the last couple 3 months I had.
No, first off, that's amazing. So I know many of you don't, weren't around when we first met, but it's amazing to see at this point from when we first met, and I'm throwing these budgeting sheets at her, and a spending tracker, and she's listening, taking notes, but she's kind of like, yo, bro, like
what is this?
And then to see her now jumping into this, and like she's really managing her money, like, and it's a complete shift. But how do you feel right now compared to when we first spoke?
I feel like some stuff is lifted off of my shoulders. I feel a lot more in control of my money. I feel a lot more in control of my finances and where my money is going. Because like I said, when we first met, it was like, okay, like I'm getting paid, like I got money in my account, I'm paying my bills, like it is what it is. But it's more than that. Like I said, I'm trying to get to the point of financial freedom, debt free, and generational wealth, for my family, my kids. So it really, it's a good feeling. It's a little bit tough, trying to stay on track with everything, and then telling your friend, I actually can't go out this month. I got to lock in. I got to stay in the house. I can't drink. I can't really, you do X, Y, and Z as I was doing before. But, you start to look at the bigger goal, and like, you see you're getting closer to it little by little. And it's like, oh, it's actually paying off. Like, it's actually worth it. So I definitely even saw myself develop, with not even just mentally with my finances, but as a person as a whole. I just started looking at the bigger things, the future things, not too much focusing on the present. Yes, like be in the present, live in the present, but like I said, staying down till I come up. And it's been a process where I had to look at where I was and where I want to be. And also, I'm the youngest in my family. I'm the only girl, so I use that as a chip on my shoulder. Like I walk with a chip on my shoulder, and I just use it as motivation. Just remember where you want to put your mom in a couple of years. Like remember, you want to make sure your mama don't got to work no more. And it's a little bit tough, because you got to do things that you don't want to do. You're doing things that some of your friends aren't doing, and if you are, that means you need a friend group. But
Yes.
it's just something like, I feel good, like I feel better, and it makes me excited for the new year, because I'm like, I did this in a matter of 3 months. Like I sold my car within a month, and I told myself I was gonna give myself 4 months. So I'm like, Eric told me, oh, like you good, like just make sure you try and get it in before the new year. And I did it in a month, and I'm like, yo, Eric, I was so happy to like tell him.
Yeah.
Like, no, I did it already. And he's like, bro, congrats. Like you did it so fast. Like, and it's a little bit hard. Yeah, it sucks in the meantime, but just thinking about how far gone, and like how successful I will be, within the next year, a couple of months, 5 years, 10 years, it makes it all worth it. So I mean, I feel a lot better. This is still just the beginning. I'm not being too prideful or too conceited about it, but this process actually helps, and it also helps you double down on what you're doing with your life, what your career is like, what your car is looking like, what your house is looking like. It makes you double down on who you are also as a person, and when you're spending your money carelessly. Because before, we get a new job, we making good money, we start
think
just
you
spending
rich.
money. Yeah,
You
you
go
think
from
it's rich. And I'm sitting here like I'm a big baller. Like I got me in 2022. Like I got me a new job. I'm in a new city. But I'm just like, actually, this money could be getting saved up a lot more. And I could be utilizing this big check that I get, to actually just save and
Mhm,
stay down now and just imagine myself in a house like in the next 2 years. Like my house in my name.
mhm.
So like I said, it's a work in progress, but I definitely feel a lot better. This actually works. Budgeting works. It helps you stay on track. It helps you stay disciplined, and it's all for the betterment of yourself. So it's like,
It
why
is.
not? Why not just, you want to make yourself better in all aspects, and money is something that makes the world go round nowadays. But why not start now?
And one of the things that I think is really important to note is for you to get those paychecks, you're giving your time for those.
Yep.
So why would you not want to the resource that you acquired through your time? Why would you
Hmm.
not want to make sure that you're taking care of it? Because if
Exactly.
you're just throwing it away, you basically telling yourself that
Hmm.
your time doesn't matter.
Don't matter. Your hard work don't even matter. Right.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And so that's you. So what is the transition been like through this journey? Because I know you spoke about friends, right? So like, how does that work in the friend group? Because I
Yeah.
think that once you lock on and
Hmm.
start making these tough decisions and you start going out less and you like that doesn't really make sense,
Hmm.
you can notice that some people will be like, hey, I want to do that too, that's a good idea, I'm gonna lock in with you, and others kind of like make you, well, come on man, you ain't
Yeah.
you can spend a couple dollars, right? But it's,
Hmm. Hmm.
yo, you don't realize what my goals are.
Yep.
You haven't seen the progress, and I'm not willing to stop this progress to appease you, because
Exactly.
you're not gonna replace that money that I need to move forward.
Exactly.
So
Man, the journey can be lonely. Because you can have friends that you've been friends with for 15 plus years and y'all are going in two different directions. You know what I'm saying? No
mhm,
love is ever lost, but you got to double down on what you're doing to get to where you want to be. And it can be tough making certain decisions, especially when you're around your friends. Friends are like family. We keep them
mhm,
close. We love hard.
mhm,
And like me and Eric were talking about before, you got to kind of, it's sad to say it like this, but your friends are either assets or liabilities. And
absolutely.
if these people aren't uplifting you, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually,
Mhm,
financially, if they're not helping you be a better you in any kind of way, they're a liability. They're a cage. You're in a cage. You're not in a circle. And you need to. My mama always told me this. She was like, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need a new group. You need new friends.
mhm,
And I still stick to this to this age. I'm only 22. I'm still young. I'm still learning a lot of things, but you got to be around people who you want to be like. If you want to be a millionaire, why are you surrounding yourself around people who only make 40K a year? Like, I mean, if those people who make 40K a year, okay, they're doing the things to try and become a millionaire, you're like, you see themselves bettering you. Everybody got to start somewhere. I'm not knocking
mhm,
anybody who's making less of you or whatever, but if they're doing the things that are needed to make themselves better and make you better, okay, that's
mhm,
different. But if they're
mhm,
not, they're cool with it. They're like, nah, bro, like, let's go out to the hookah bar, like, I just got paid, blah blah blah, whole time they blowing their whole paycheck. It's like,
mhm.
nah, dog, like, I'm gonna stay in. Like, I'll go out like in a couple months later when I got everything situated. Like, it's little stuff like that, and it could be tough, because you want to keep those friends around you. You want to keep your sisters, your brothers, who's been there for you through thick and thin. But as we get older, life is short, and we're getting to the age where we want to build that generational wealth. We're not our parents, we're not our grandparents. We have a lot
Mhm.
of opportunities in our face that our parents didn't even have.
Yes,
At
yes.
22, my mama wasn't buying no house. You know what I'm saying? She didn't
Mhm,
have a college degree. So it's like a lot of the things that our parents and grandparents and cousins and stuff went through or didn't have, it's right in front of our face. So we have to make
yeah.
those sacrifices. And like I said, it's hard to find people in your group who are going to uplift you in those ways, especially financially when it comes to money, because finance is
Mhm,
such a hard topic to talk about. Like my first
yeah.
meeting with Eric, I was very nervous about bringing him my bank statements, bringing him how much money I was making, bringing him my student debt, blah blah blah. Like it's nerve wracking. Like you don't want
Yeah.
nobody knowing how much you make and how you're spending your money.
Yeah,
But
that fear of
like
judgment is
if fear
real.
of judgment, exactly, especially in our community, like fear of judgment, when it's like all we're trying to do is better ourselves and better each other.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, all we have is each other.
That's
So,
all.
it's very difficult, trying to find those people who are going to be in the same mindset as you, especially this young. Like I said, I'm only 22, but I got 4 different mentors and they're all 40 plus. And one of them is
Mhm.
an ex NFL player. So it's like I know where I want to be, so I have to surround
Mhm.
myself with people who are better than me, because I
Yes.
can't be around people who are less of me. And it's like, yes, I can help them, but if they're not helping me to a certain extent, it's like I can't be giving, giving, giving and not receiving in return.
Yeah,
So
that's draining. It's very
it's
draining.
draining, it's very draining, and it's something that you got to start taking serious as, you start looking into homes and building a future, and starting your career and stuff like that. It's something that, I mean, it sucks, but it has to happen. It's maturing, it's life, it's adulting.
Yeah, and it's much more fun when you and the whole crew can be on the same timing. It's
Exactly. Oh
one of
yeah.
the I think one of the toughest thing, especially being around 22, you're just getting out of college, is
Mhm.
everyone wants to get out and party and enjoy
Yep.
themselves. Like, oh, I made it, not
Mhm.
realizing that that was just the part of the
It's just
the
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 beginning.
journey, right? That's just
Right.
like you're at the
Right.
starting line now. Like
Mhm.
before then, everything was pretty much provided for you. But like you
Yep.
said, once you get there and you realize that, all these bills, the
Yeah, like,
rent,
oh,
where all
where
these
you
bills,
coming
it's
from?
just coming from everywhere,
And you
and it's
pay
like,
for it on your own? It get a lot more serious in the game.
and
It really
and
do.
and you realize that you may be making 5 bands a month, but you might only
Mhm.
see 1,500 of it because the bill, and
That's
it's like,
facts.
whoa, like
Them
where'd all this
taxes, boy,
money
I
go?
tell you, them taxes be killing me.
It's rough, but
It is, it is.
now when you're trying to focus in and
Mhm.
you see everyone else having fun, it gets easy to be distracted. You get that fear
Yeah.
of missing out, right? Like, oh, I'm
Yep.
not doing this. Why am I not doing this right now? I should be with them.
Yep.
Maybe I can wait. But it's like,
Yep.
no, because if you flip the
Mhm.
script,
Mhm.
they're not doing what you're doing. And at the end of the
Mhm.
day, these parties and things they're going to aren't going to equate to them leveling themselves up in life, right?
Exactly.
However, the
Exactly.
decisions that you're making, where you're managing your money, you're
Mhm.
getting around better people who make better
Mhm.
decisions, and because you're
Right.
getting around people who have the same aspirations as you, or they've
Yep.
completed, they're at a level where you want to become,
Mhm.
that they're not going to strive you or drive you away from the things that are going to help you be successful.
Exactly. You hit it right on the head. You gotta have the same mindset. You know what I'm saying? And I'm related back to track too, because track was my whole life. I did that sport ever since I was 7. I'm not gonna sit here and train with a person who is slower than me. I can't. If I want to
Mm-hmm.
be faster, if I want to be
Mm-hmm.
faster, I got to train with somebody that's faster than me.
Mm-hmm.
Because what benefit is it going to give me, like, leveling down to somebody who's not on my standard or not on my level? That's the bare minimum for me. I have to be higher than that. I have to go fast. I have to be faster. I have to be better than that. So I
Mm-hmm.
have to attack the person who's faster than me, who's stronger than me, because it's only going to make me faster and stronger. So it's like you got to be around people who have the same mindset as you, and also, I mean, uplifting people is great as well, but you got to
Mm-hmm.
be around people that's going to uplift yourself.
Yeah.
It has to be a mutual kind of relationship. You can't just be one side and you're the friend that's always giving, giving, giving and not receiving, because it's not fair in the end. And you want to be
Mm-hmm.
around people who are going to have that same mindset. Be like, all right, because we want to go on that trip, to Mexico. Let's lock in for these next 4 or 5 months and really get to the nitty gritty of our finances, make sure we're saving
Mm-hmm.
enough, make sure we're paying our bills on time, stuff like that. Because I mean, the fun's going to be here forever. The clubs are going to be here. The party's going to be here. But that financial freedom now, like,
It's different.
it is
It hits
different,
different.
like, especially at the age of 22. Even you could be even 30. Like, we're doing stuff, like I said, that our grandparents, our parents, our great grandparents didn't even have the opportunity to do. Our community is so ever changing. Technologies are shifting, they're advancing. We're advancing, we're becoming more intelligent as one, and
Mm-hmm.
we really need to take advantage of the opportunities that are laying right in front of us. Like Eric, my partner, he set me up. He was like, "Yo, we're doing a financial coaching." I said, "Financial coaching?" I said, "Ooh." I said, "Oh, I'm not doing no financial. I'm not having nobody looking at my paycheck. Like, the only person that ever seen my paycheck was probably my mama. Like,
Mm-hmm.
from when I was 16." And I was like, he was like, "No, like, he gonna get us right. Like, he really gonna sit with us and make sure we're spending our money like smart." And I was like, "All right, like, I'll give it to it." So nervous hopping on that first call. I'm like, I don't even know this dude for real. Like, I met him like once before at like some cookout, or it was at Clave or something. I met you. I'm like, yo, he got intimidating. He got this whole financial coaching page. Like, he probably make a lot more money than me. Like, it's very nerve wracking. And then, you have this whole like persona that you don't want somebody to just like see the true you or see the true money that you're making. But it's like,
Mm-hmm.
Eric's trying to help me. Like, he's just trying to uplift another Black woman. He's just trying to uplift
Yeah.
another person. And that's really what it's all about. And the things and stuff that Eric's teaching I can go and teach my friends, or I can go and teach
Mm-hmm.
my little cousins or my little cousins and be like, yo, just lock in. Like, I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. Just take 3 months. Don't go out. Don't do spending carelessly. Use this budget sheet and you're going to see how much you actually saved. And like the little stuff like that, it makes it all worthwhile, and it makes you very, very appreciative and thankful for actually how hard you worked, what kind of career you have, or what job you have, and the time that you're putting into stuff. The time is precious. Like
Time is
when you
precious.
really sit
Yes.
there and you go to work, you go to school, you work out, you're eating healthy, you're praying, you're doing whatever you got to do, and you're locking in, and you're doing stuff to be a better you, and you really sit there and like, dang, all that other stuff, like I'm not even missing out on nothing for real. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just became a whole new person in a matter of 3 to 6 months
You
just because I
did.
decided to lock in.
You did. And it's your
Yeah.
values change. What you focus on
Yep.
change. The thing,
Yep.
certain things that used to bother you don't bother you. Right.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
before, why didn't you invite me to the party? Now it's, bro, I don't care. Like I'm
I
doing
don't even
this.
care.
I don't even care that the party exists.
That's
Like it's so,
exactly.
oh man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you hit on another good point, which is that, we always talk about negativity being viral, and people, the wrong thought processes and the wrong focuses and desires being viral. But just kind of how you described it, the same thing, these conversations we're having now, learning how to manage your finances properly,
Mm-hmm.
learning how to make responsible decisions, learning how to set yourself up to
Mm-hmm.
to where you can be 40 and not have to work again, because at
Right.
22 you decided to knock out all your debt, and then from 20, say it took you 2 years, then from 24 to the rest of your life you're building wealth, you're gaining assets. Now you have multiple properties, you have real estate, that you might have Airbnbs, you got other companies, you might have decided you wanted to start your own business, and it's like you can never figure that out if you don't take the first step, which is
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead and mention it on here now. I got another book coming out. It's called
Yep.
Escaping Survival Mode.
Yes, sir.
A young adult's guide to becoming debt free. So stay on the lookout for that within the new year. Real excited about that one. But I really want this thought process and this mindset to become viral, because why can't the whole group be focused on
Right.
becoming financially healthy, right? We talk about
Mm-hmm.
becoming healthy physically, we want to go to the gym and all these,
Mm-hmm.
but everything ties together. You should also want to increase your financial health, because that's
Mm-hmm.
also going to provide the longevity. I don't want
Right.
to be healthy I don't want to be healthy just to struggle for 90 years. I want to be
Exactly.
healthy so I can enjoy life for 90 years. So if that means I have to cut out doing things that may be fun for 5 years to be able to enjoy it fully or to a better level, right? Think about it. Just like college or 22, you could take a trip, right? But most people were they put it on a credit card. They
Yep.
not, but it's, or like you're going to trip, but like now you stand in a room that ain't really that nice because it's all you can afford, and
Mm-hmm.
you're not really eating where you want to. It's like you on this nice trip, but you eating like the bare basics just to survive. And
Yep.
it's, but when you on the other side of it and you're debt free, your money's your money. You're doing what you want now. You can plan, save for that trip, have the money put there. You can go stay in the nice place and eat the good
Yep.
food and come
And
back,
it's so
and you're
worth
not
it.
worrying about how you got to pay for it. You paid
Exactly.
for it through making the right decisions. Your decisions paid for it.
Or you don't got to pay for it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you get good credit. Now you getting these cards where you get points, and now the points are paying for everything. So literally you just took a free trip, but oh man,
Yeah,
it gets real crazy.
that's where I'm trying to get. Like that's exactly where I'm trying to get. And another thing that I try to cut out is those thoughts in your head, like those negative thoughts. And I was just talking to my little cousin about this, is the power of the tongue.
Mm.
It's so important. And manifesting is cool, writing down your goals and everything is cool, but if you're not putting that work in behind it, how you
Mm-hmm.
expect it to happen. And it's so easy to just get into your thoughts, like, I'm not gonna be the one to do it for my family, I'm not gonna ever see a better job, I'm not gonna ever see a better car. And it's like, we're human. It's so easy to think like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes negativity corrupts our mind. And like I said, mental health is so important. Get to a therapist if you can. But surrounding, like, this ties into surrounding yourself around those like-minded people who are going to be like, nah man, like pick yourself up, like I got you, like you can do it, like I did it, like I'm a story that you can look and read, like I'm proof right
Yes.
here in the flesh. And like I said, we have to rely on each other and not just beat ourselves up so much all the time. And it happens. Like there's
Yeah.
days that I might sit there and think like, bro, like who am I to say like I'm gonna be the millionaire in my family? Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't even make that yet. Like I'm just starting my career. Like I'm the probably like one of the lowest in the corporate chain right now. But it's like, okay, like, well, what am I doing to work towards that? I got 4
Mm-hmm.
mentors who are the highest in the corporate chain. So it's like me, I'm a visionary person. You know, I create the vision boards. I like listening to podcasts. I like seeing things. I envision things, you know, envision the house, envision the car, envision the people. And we have to start thinking like that. And you know, it is easy, especially with social media. That's why I took a break from it for a minute. You know,
Mm.
after my birthday, I was like, you know, I'm off of the media, because we see people, we see their lifestyles, and you know, that's not true life. You know, that's not
Yeah.
really
It's
what life
fake.
is.
A lot
You
of
know
it
what
is
I'm
fake.
saying?
Yeah.
We see people traveling, we see the money, we see the cars, we see the fame, we see the parties. You know, we see all of that, and then we like compare ourselves and where we're at on our journey. And another thing is like we can't compare our chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 50. Like
Yes.
that's just something we
Yes.
can't do. We're on 2 separate journeys, and that's something I also had to learn from college. You got to stop comparing yourself. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
cool to like look at someone else's story and be like, okay, like I want to get out the mud like them, but you
Mm-hmm.
can't be too hard on yourself. You know, we're all learning. It's life. We're not perfect. We make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
We make certain choices that land us in certain predicaments that we wish we were never in. But you know, it's a learning experience, and as long as we, you know, pick ourselves up after falling 8 times, we're standing 9. Like, you know, just keep it pushing a day at a time, and just we're not going to be motivated every day, but try and have that discipline to just want to be better, and just know, you know, like I'm gonna be better today than I was yesterday, and that's all that matters. If my best today is 70%, then my 70% was my best, and that's all I can give today. Tomorrow we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna go harder. And you know, that's the kind of mindset I try and have. You know, it is easy to just have those negative thoughts, like I said, with the social media and looking at other people and where they're at. That's why I like took a break from it. I'm just like, you know what, let me just lock in on Briana and what Briana Reckling is
Mm-hmm.
doing. Like I can't worry about what Tanisha or Joe or Byron or whoever these people are doing. And if they're not signing my checks, they're not the
Mm-hmm.
ones getting paid in my bank, they're not the ones taking care of their family for my family. Like you really just have to start focusing on yourself, because that's what matters at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, all we really, really, truly have is ourselves.
Yeah. And you have to take the biggest interest in the success of you.
Yep, facts. Because that's
And
all that
and
matters.
and you can't expect anyone else to do it, but you know, the action
Mhm.
piece, and you know, me and you've talked about this from the
We talk
beginning.
about
The
that
action
action,
piece
man.
is huge. That's, you know, people will get all this information. They'll sit here and they'll, oh, I read this book or I listened to this podcast, and okay, well, what
Well,
are
what do
you
you do with
doing?
it?
What are
Yeah,
you
like
doing with it? Like you're just building
mhm.
this repository of information, which is really useless unless you put it to
Right.
work. You know,
Mhm.
so, but you know, once you start taking the action,
Mhm.
you start noticing that you really are in control. And when you start to
Exactly.
realize that you really are in control, you
Mhm.
start to try to control more. Right? It's like,
Yep.
oh, well, if I can do this, maybe I can do this.
Something else, right?
If I can sell my car,
Mhm.
maybe I can do this. Right? Now you save 300, and it people always look to be I can't see all the benefits right now, and
Mhm.
you can't always see the benefits for
Can't see
making
it right now.
starting,
No, you
but
don't
they
see the
come.
rainbow when it's raining outside.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make, is that in order to start, they want to be able to see everything that's going to come from it, right? But
Right.
you never saw that, you know, if I sell the car, I'll be able to save, you know, $300-400, which then will able to free this up to do other things, like, oh, now I can pay for therapy, which now that benefit my mental's good, so now I'm able to operate even at a higher
Yep.
efficiency. You know,
Yep.
oh, I didn't realize that through doing this, it would, you know, highlight the fact that these people in my life actually were not good for me. And because I
Mhm.
removed them, now all these other aspects got better, you know. So
Yep.
the action, and then the things you learn the most through the action, right? Like I could have talked to you about budgeting and all these things, but I could have never gave you the knowledge you have
Mhm.
without you actually sitting down and working to fill out the budgeting sheet
Good
and like,
point.
oh, this
Yeah.
what works for me. And you know, it's like, but
Exactly.
now you know, and you're familiar now. You can go to a store and be like, you know what? Why? Because you do your budgeting
I really
efficiently.
need this.
Yeah, and you know where you at right now. Like, I'm at $157 right now, and I
Mhm.
know I budgeted 400, but you know, because you see it every day, as opposed to the person that goes in and is like, nah, you know, it is what it is.
In the account, maybe let me just get it. Like it's
Yeah.
$4 ain't nothing for real.
Hopefully the car goes through. Like, that's a terrible way to
That's
live.
a bad mindset.
But a
Yeah,
lot of people do it.
I like how you really put action into it. Because like I said, you gave me the sheets, you gave
Mm-hmm.
me the coaching, you gave me the quotes, you gave me the book, you gave me everything. But it's like, okay, you did your job. I got to do my job now. And like
Mm-hmm.
I said, the blessing's not gonna come unless you put the action behind it. You know, the promotion's not gonna come, the new car, whatever it is, it's not gonna come unless you sit there and work for it. And you know, I seen the vision. Eric's seen the vision before I seen the vision, and I'm just like, all right, let me actually double down and listen to what he's saying. Like, let me actually take heed into what he's trying to teach me right now, because Eric's in a position that I want to be right now, like in the
Mm-hmm.
future, you know, in a year or two, whatever. So you got to put action behind, you know, your thought process and where you're trying to be, because no action is just a failed you know thing you that is just not going to get accomplished. So I agree with that 100%.
So I don't know how detailed you were, but I know, you and little bro
Mm-hmm.
have been able to make some tough decisions as
Yeah.
well in
Mm-hmm.
regards to how y'all gonna can we talk a little bit
Yeah,
about like
yeah,
that as
let's
well?
talk about it. Because there's somebody gonna listen to it and they probably in a relationship. So yeah,
Yeah.
me and my partner, Eric's Neo, actually, you know, Coleman Love, we love it. We've been in a long distance relationship for about 6 months now. And you know, I'll travel to come see him, he'll travel to come see me, and we'll split the fights in half and stuff like that. And you know, you want to see your partner, you know, you miss him. I live in Boston, he lives in South Carolina, so that is literally like a 15 to 16 hour drive. I am not driving my Acura all the way down. He is not
Yeah,
driving
nah.
his Chevy all the way up. So we actually came to the conclusion that for the new year, we're both going to individually get our thoughts and everything together, you know, make sure he's focused, because we're both career driven. We're
Mm-hmm.
in really, really great spots in our career, and we're really young, and we're trying to accomplish some things. You know, he's into the network analyst, you know, IT, you know, I call him a nerd when
Yeah.
it comes to that stuff. And I'm in medical device sales. So I go into the OR, I look at surgeries, I talk to doctors and surgeons. I'm learning, you know, these devices and stuff like that. So our jobs are pretty difficult. And you know, it was all fun and all, you know, the holidays, you know, it was our first holiday together for Thanksgiving and Christmas and the New Year. But like I said, 2023 is the breakthrough year for the both of us. And we're trying to really lock in with where we're trying to go. And we're also looking to purchase a home. And that's something that's very exciting for me, because like I said, I'm the youngest in my family to even do something like that. My parents weren't able to do that until they were 30 or 40, and I'm the youngest
Mm,
of all my siblings and looking into a home. So because of that, you know, we're going to double down on traveling to see each other, you know, because flights, they do eventually add up, you know, the groceries with
mm-hmm.
each other, they do eventually add up, and we end up going out a little bit more to date nights, and you know, drinking a little bit more when we're hanging out with friends, when we're with each other. So we just had the mature talk and say, like, listen, boo, like, I love you. I love being with you. I love seeing you. I love visiting you and stuff like that. But if we want to get to where we want to be in the next couple of months, within the next year, we got to start putting in the work now. We got to start saving now. We got to start locking in and taking this seriously. If we want to be in that house in the next couple of
Mm-hmm.
months. So, it's a little bit tough, you know, long distance sucks, you know, it
Yeah.
happens. But like I said, you gotta just do stuff now so you can get to where you want to be later. So it's not like I have to do it, but I want to do it. Like so it's
Yeah.
not like a chore, or like something that is just like more of a like a pain in the neck that you have to do something. It's like, no, I'm gonna just sit down and just be like, all right, we want to do this, so we won't have to get to that point of being like we have to do it then. So you know, it's a little bit hard, it's a little bit tough, but like I said, like having that friend, having that partner that has the same mindset as you, it makes it a
Yes.
lot better. Makes it a
That.
100% lot better, because you know we're hungry for success. We're both very hungry for success.
Mm-hmm.
He's focusing on his career. You know, he's finishing up school. I'm looking into getting back into school to get my master's. You know, I'm focusing on my career with medical device sales, because I got to learn anatomy, and I'm telling you, I barely know that. So you know, we both got to really just lock in for ourselves, and you know, we have to be better partners to each other, but we have to be better for ourselves first. So I
Yes.
gotta love on me and love on what I'm doing and make sure I'm being the best me myself, if I'm going to be able to be the best girlfriend for him, or the best sister for my brothers, or the best daughter for my mother. So it was a tough decision that we had to make, because we love seeing each other, we love being in each other's presence. But you know, it's gonna be worth it when we're in the house together, just with our dog chilling. Like, you know,
Yeah.
we don't got to worry about traveling to see each other and stuff like that. That's my dog right now, Maybach.
Oh. But
um but yeah, like having that partner, especially a man that you know is guiding you in the right direction, because I know there's
mm,
a lot of women out there that are alpha women. We like to take direction, we like to be in charge, we like to just control things the way we want to do it, say what we want when we want it, like do all of that. But having a man that knows what he's doing and knows where he wants
mm-hmm.
to take you along on the ride, it's a breath of fresh air, because there's not a lot of good people out here, men and women. There's not a lot of good people out here
Yeah.
that, want to build that generational wealth for, your future family, or just really just have a partner who you want to see, future marriage with, and kids with, and a dog with, and a house, and building a business together. That's serious. You don't see a lot of people and couples doing that nowadays. It's the generation we're in, it's a very tough scene to be in. So, we're kind of taking advantage of who we are right now and who we want to be, and who we want to continue to grow, individually and collectively as a unit. So
yeah, and that's so huge, because whether friendship, relationship, but since we're talking about relationships, I think that
yep.
is absolutely important, because
Yeah.
one, you have to work on yourselves individually. If you're not
Yep.
together on your own, you're not good. It's going to be very difficult to do that together. And what better way to show someone that, I'm all the way into this, than to get
Yep.
yourself together prior to,
Exactly.
and I personally know both of y'all do have the
Yeah.
same mindset, and it's dope because
Yeah.
I get to work with both of y'all and talk back and forth. I remember when I brought up the guys, like, hey, look, I know y'all love seeing each other. I know y'all love doing this, but you got these flights and all these things. It adds
Yep.
up. Like, can y'all find more creative ways to still spend time? Can you do some digital dates, or all these
Yeah.
different? And like, I want to say I brought it up to him first. I was like, yo, because
No,
I
you
can say what I
actually
want
did.
to him. Yeah, I'd be like, yo, look, this is what needs to happen. I told him, I was like, yo, I'm be honest, I'm kind of scared to say this to Bree. I don't know. He was like, no, you good. I was like, I'm gonna have to say it, because like I
You'll
wouldn't be
have to
doing
say
my
I'm
job
gonna
if I
listen.
didn't.
Listen.
I was like, but just make sure that she don't have a vendetta against me after I say this.
Nah,
And then
it's all love. It's all
after it
love.
went, and like now, I just seeing once again, it just makes me happy, because I get so tired of speaking with people who they sit down and I talk to them like, hey, look, this is the way that I would do it. Here's why, blah blah. The way you're doing it right now isn't really good, and they just like, oh yeah, 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 and then come back, a little time later, and haven't implemented anything. One of my favorite things about you two specifically is everything that I've told you has been executed to the utmost power, and I'm like, so I don't care. Like, y'all know when y'all call, I don't care when you call me. Hey, cool, let's figure it out, because I know you're going to do the work.
Exactly.
And I think that's important for anyone listening to this episode right now, is the energy that you see I have for her, and for saying right now, yo, you can have this from someone who takes a genuine interest in seeing you be successful, but you have to do the work. When you sit there and like no motion has happened, no motions occurred. Yeah. And it's like, why would I, why I'm wasting my time? My time is precious. I could be doing so many other things to add value to myself, but I'm spending it with you, and you're telling me, what better way to tell somebody that you don't care about their time than not to implement the things that you took their time to learn?
Exactly. And having that person that can hold you accountable and push you to be better, that's so important. Friend, relationship, brother, family, whatever it is, like, we're all just trying to be better. We're all trying to get better. Having that person that you can rely on, that's gonna say, like, I want you to be better in this aspect. Like, boo, you lack it in this. Cause he be telling me, like, he'll tell me straight up, like, boo, like, you spent too much money in this. Like, okay, we're just gonna watch, some Netflix movies. And whenever I'm at home and we're doing the long distance thing, we'll have those virtual date nights, and Apple rent, the Apple movie is only $6.99 for the both of us. And, that's not even, it's only $12 in total. So it's like, we'll do little stuff like that. And, long distance sucks. I hate to do it, but I know in the end, it's all going to be worth it. So, you just gotta, like I said, this whole podcast, stay down till you come up, and it'll all be worth it. I know it will, because look at where it got me now. So Eric's been such a great help, having another big brother figure, just like hold me accountable and just like give me the plan and me execute it. That's really what it's been. It's a give relationship. It's a 50-50. If I'm lacking in one area, he's gonna tell me, and I'm gonna accept it and be like, you know what, bro, like, you actually right. I gotta step it up. And that's what I need, because I thrive off of that. I thrive off of feedback. I thrive off of those criticism. It's constructive criticism, and it's not bad. It's just to make me a better person. It's just to help me, in the long run. So very appreciative of it.
I just want both of y'all, he's gonna be on the show too, but I got you on here but I want to say right here, I'm very proud of y'all, like the progress that y'all have both made already, and just the dedication and the focus, and being able to y'all both sound like completely different people right now. Like, we can sit down and have these conversations, but also it's dope because y'all have seen, I've spoken to both of y'all like, hey, look, I want you to understand that there's going to be more things that come out of this journey than just learning how to budget. And throughout time, both of you are starting to see the other unaccounted for benefits. So it's just been dope to watch you blossom. Like I'm telling you, in a year, I can only imagine where y'all are going to be. And
Man,
like,
I'm excited. Like I said, 2023 is a breakthrough year. Like I could only imagine where we're gonna be this time next year. Like I'm just so stoked for the new year. Like even coming out of college, I couldn't even tell my 21-year-old self that I just feel a lot more mature. Like I feel like I'm more about my business. Like
yeah,
my time is so precious to me. Like it's just like I'm be protecting my peace. Like that's my whole motto too. Protect
yeah,
peace. Like not even just with finances, but you learn a lot more about yourself on this journey. Like finances,
mm-hmm,
it can really put you in a drought. Like it can make you
mm-hmm,
make some tough decisions, but you come out a stronger and more intelligent person than you were before. And it's just all worth it. And like over these last 3 months, I'm just looking back at where I was in September, and it's like I feel like I'm different. Like I feel like I've just elevated in so many ways.
you
And
have,
I've only locked in for 3 months. So all right, let's take it another 3 months. Like let's take it
right,
like okay, let's do this next 3 months, and after that let's do another recap and see how far we came from the previous 3 months. Like just seeing the progress, it makes you feel better about the journey. And of course, we want to see us 5 years from now, from where we don't have to stress about our finances or a job or whatever we might have going on in our personal lives. But it's the journey that we have to be prideful in. It's the hard work we got to put in. It's the dedication. It's the what's the word I'm looking for? I think it was like a Will Smith or Denzel Washington quote. It was something like that. It was like, or it was the J. Cole. It was something. It was like just being prideful in the journey, and being down right now because you're not gonna be here forever. So it's
mm-hmm,
like it builds character. Like how do you want to be a millionaire, but you don't even know how to work your finances with what you got right now. So it's
mm-hmm,
like you gotta figure out who you are as a person right now, who you aspire to be, and start acting as that person.
mm-hmm,
I know I want to be very successful, bright, intelligent, a leader of my community, etc. And if I'm lacking in certain areas of that right now, I need to pick it up, because how do I expect to get there? I got to start acting as
yes,
that person right now, not 5 years from now when I have the money. No, I got to start acting as that person now,
yeah,
and start doing those little things, that are
yes,
gonna get me there. And
that,
one of the quotes, one of the quotes that I have on my phone and in my refrigerator is like, you have to get uncomfortable in order to be the person that you aspire to be. So you can't do your daily routine, scrolling through your phone or just laying in bed. Nah, you got to do things you haven't done before. Read a book for 15 minutes in the morning. That is uncomfortable because you don't do it. But you
yep.
eventually, it takes 90 days to build that habit. You got to do the things that you haven't done before in order to get to where you need to be. And that's
Absolutely.
what I try and stick on.
That's a I mean, for me, I hated reading. I didn't really read my books in college, high school.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't. But and that's the thing too, is you have to find why, like your why, right? And I know
Mm-hmm.
that sounds so
Yeah.
cliche, right?
But
But for
you do,
me,
you
but like
do.
reading, I was like I always saw it as just an extra activity I had to do, right? Like, why would I do this when I can sit around and do something else? Until I realized that through reading these leadership books,
Mm-hmm.
these mental books, these
Mm-hmm.
books on finance, these books on investing, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I'm increasing my knowledge,
Yeah.
which gives me more stuff to apply, which will help me reach my goals faster. Oh, this only makes sense. Why am I not reading more? But
Right.
what no one ever told me, that it could be this, right? You always see, I don't Harry Potter and this and it, which is cool, right? Like reading for fun. I haven't dove into that yet. All my
Me
stuff
either. I
now
haven't
is
gotten into that too much yet, but I need
it's
to.
good.
They said it's good to read some fictional stuff.
Yeah, so I'm gonna dive into that at some point for real. So if anybody has any great book suggestions on the fictional side, please let me know.
Yeah.
But that why is going to be important. It's going to drive you. Now I know I read these books
Mm-hmm.
because I'm going to gain something that'll help me push myself towards my goals. Right. I
Mm-hmm.
know
Exactly.
I want to. I want to have better I can also go and have better conversations with my friends. Hey, did you know this? Hey, how'd you learn that? Oh, cool. Boom. And now I'm not only taking it, but I'm also teaching it, which helps me learn it more, internalize it, which makes me better, and then
Mm-hmm.
now I'm bringing other people around, and it's, you
Exactly.
know, it doesn't have to be learned. I just got to find the people that are interested in it. And like people know, if I'm now, it's to the point to where if I come to someone with information, they know that it's no BS, right? Oh, this
Mm-hmm.
dude, like, yeah, I'm going to gain something from this. Let me listen
Yep.
to this. Let me write this down. Hey, I
Exactly.
should probably go look this up. And that's a great position to be in, because I remember at some points in my life, I feel like nobody listened to me, right?
No, forever. Like I was
But
just talking. Nobody was listening. I was just talking.
yeah,
And I remembered it when you were just talking just now. It was J. Cole. It's Beauty in the Struggle, Ugliness in the Success. It was a song.
yeah, it's a
And
song.
you'll be so surprised of how much your character builds when you're down bad. Like
Mm-hmm.
you'll just be so surprised of what kind of person it makes out of you. Like you'll come
Mm-hmm.
out of that struggle a whole different person, like more confident in yourself. Like you learned a
Mm-hmm.
lot more about yourself. You know, you're closer to God or whomever you may praise. You know, your
Mm-hmm.
finances a lot more locked in. You save a lot more money. You working out. You eating healthy. Like
Relationships are better.
relationships are better, like you're thriving. Like it
Mm-hmm.
sucks to say, you know, we all have our bad days, months, years, stuff like that, but you'll be so surprised like who you become out of that struggle. Like you made it through, like you persisted, you know, you persevered, you made it. Like you're unstoppable. And it's like, okay, if I did it while I was down bad, imagine what I could do when I'm on top. Imagine what I could do when I have the influence, when I have the money, when I have the
Mm-hmm.
people surrounding me in my circle. Just imagine what I can do. And you know, that's what I just kind of think about. Like I just say, you know, I'm not even down now. I'm building my empire. Like I just say, I'm building my empire. Like that's exactly what
Yeah,
I'm doing.
you in
Like
the building phase right
building.
now.
I'm building, you know, I'm on the journey and I have to be appreciative of the journey because everybody got to start somewhere. You know, I'm not just going to outright have the money, have the cars, have the land, have everything that I want. Like everybody got to start somewhere. Elon Musk started somewhere. Like
Yeah.
some we all got to have something to start with. Like a flower doesn't just bloom in a day. Like Rome wasn't built in a day. Like
Mm-hmm.
those building blocks, you know, each day I say is a step closer to my goals, you know, and it doesn't matter how fast you go, as long as you're walking, you could be crawling, you're moving
Mm-hmm.
at least a little bit closer, you know, inch by inch, you know, day by day, hour by hour, second by second, and you'll eventually see how far you've come along. And like I said, only 3 months and I already like I can't even recognize myself. Like I told my friend, I was like, bro, I feel like I'm a different person. Like I don't feel the
Yeah.
same. Like, she was like, no, Bree, like I don't even recognize, like you even talk different. Like you think different, you move different. You're, you know, we're elevating and that's what it's all
Mm-hmm.
about.
That's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all. Oh man, I love talking to you.
You know, it's
So
gonna be a good talk whenever we catch up.
before we get ready to close the show out today, is there anything else you would like to leave the listeners with? If you had to drop some now, I mean, I feel like you dropped a lot of stuff. You
I
might not have any,
did.
but
um, any knowledge?
anything.
I feel like I said it all.
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah,
think you
I
did too.
think I said it all. I think one thing I just actually want to leave is be kind to people. Be
Mm,
giving. You know, always give back. I think we haven't really talked much on that. You know, as much money as
mm-hmm.
you make, as much of a good person, like make sure you're helping somebody along the way. You know, there's
Yeah.
people who have it a lot worse than you may have it. Like we all have
Mm-hmm.
our struggles, but there's always somebody that's going through it a lot more than you are. So I just say be kind. You know, have a genuine heart. You know, just give unto others as you want people to give unto you, and just be kind in any kind of way, in every kind of way. That's my last thoughts.
I love it. Be kind in any kind of way. Absolutely. I think that's spot on. So for the listeners, I really want to thank you for tuning in today. As I said, I was excited about this episode. It's one of my active clients that are out here. She's out here taking the world by the horns and doing as she will. And I once again, I can't wait to see where you are in a year. We have to get you back on the show to talk about where you
Oh,
are
of
now.
course.
Then because I know you're going to be in a much better place than you are now, and you're in a great place now. But
Yep.
the progress of not being comfortable where you are and always striving for more, I think, is extremely important. So for the listeners, you know how I say, I don't just talk about numbers and spreadsheets on this show, because managing your personal finances is much more than numbers and spreadsheets. So for those of you listening, I want you to listen to all the other pieces that go into it. Make sure that you're building those good relationships. Make sure that you're working on your habits, invest in your own education. Find people that you can look to that are in areas that you want to be in, so that you have someone to strive to, right? If you're, like Bree said earlier today, if you want to, be a millionaire, you can't take, information from the person that has $700,000 in debt, right? It just doesn't work. You have to go and get the information from the people who are in the place that you want to be and aspire to be like them. Learn their habits. What do they do? How do they spend their time? Do they spend their money on frivolous things? What do they look? You know what I'm saying? So all of that is important. So the more that you can work on all these other pieces and become a more well-rounded person, the more you'll start to see these numbers and spreadsheets that you need to make your finances work in your favor. And
Yep.
with that being said, let's get in the smoker.
All
Thank
right,
you for
y'all.
listening to the Finance Bruh. If you feel like this episode has added value to you today, then please be sure to go to Amazon and purchase a copy of my book, The In the Smoker Mindset. You can also go to my website at www.inthesmoker.com and sign up for my budgeting course. You can also find more information on my financial coaching and credit repair services. And if you really want to help support the brand, you can also purchase some merchandise. Let people know what In the Smoker is about. All right. I hope to see you next week. Let's get in the smoke.